professional?
It will look professional.
No, I meant that it's BYU.
Tonight on CTV, cold temperatures may bring an undetectable threat into your home. A look at the dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning. And a local singer is making a difference off the stage. Find out how. Plus, a look at an event honoring our veterans last week. All coming up next on CTV.
What? Welcome to CTV. I'm Katie. Spencer?
And I'm Michael McNulty. Nice to have you with us.
Dang it. Every year, around 500 people die from carbon monoxide poisoning, and at least 5 to 10 in Colorado. And that risk becomes even greater when the weather becomes colder. I spoke to a Poudre Valley firefighter for some prevention tips.
The flick of a switch, the turn of a knob, and the gas pours out. This daily activity for many can be life-threatening.
Carbon monoxide can actually be a killer if someone gets enough of it within their system. They can go to sleep at night and unfortunately not wake up.
Many home appliances run on natural gas, such as a stove or a water heater. Poudre Valley Fire goes on approximately 50 calls a year for carbon monoxide.
The call volume actually does go up when we come into the heating season, which we're just beginning right now here in Colorado.
Prevention is key when dealing with carbon monoxide since it is undetectable.
The first thing that they can do is install a carbon monoxide alarm. We cannot detect it. That's why carbon monoxide alarms are so very important. The next thing is make sure your appliances are checked if any of them are fuel burning appliances.
And as if it wasn't dangerous enough, the symptoms could mimic the flu.
And they could include headaches, dizziness, sleepiness, and even nausea. Please get an alarm. It's better than to prevent an incident such as poisoning than it is to have to try to take care of one afterwards.
A recent law that was passed states that any real rental property must have at least one carbon monoxide detector. If your house doesn't have one, Poudre Fire has a program that gives them out for free.
This Veterans Day, artists and veterans got together to explain their stories in a different way.
That's cool. You're still on, Alex.
So now since nothing's going wrong, just start talking to don't do that. Start talking about like something that was happening in the news to burn time.
In recent years.
Veterans Day is a time to honor those who have served for us. Some find the courage to tell their story,
And he didn't care about his daughter.
while others listen. But sometimes there's a disconnect, and that's why CSU hosted the second annual Veteran Print Project.
I started the project to help bridge the gap between veterans and civilians, allowing us to have a conversation, and by putting it in art form with the prints.
And the participants responded well.
This experience was just, it was like trying to walk in somebody else's shoes, but, you know, without the ability to do so, only being able to hear the story of walking in that person's shoes.
You know, he was just like, he wanted to know everything about my deployments, my time in the service, and you know, he was just a very interested guy, and I just started opening up.
And with the exhibition, everyone got to see other artists' work to gain a new perspective on their own stories.
It was eye-opening, to say the least. My particular story I had told an immense amount of times. I couldn't count how many times I've told that particular story, but it seemed to have a different meaning when I was telling it through somebody else's work.
You can be so cruel. That means you're going to hear clapping, that will be the out cue.
In 5 seconds.
You can be so cruel to somebody.
Wait, I'm not next to him.
And they can turn around and they can give you a hug.
Michael?
And they can offer you their stuff out of their own house. And it just reminds me that just because you think you don't like somebody doesn't mean that they don't love you.
This is the second year CSU held the Veteran Print Project. For more information or to participate next year, visit vetartproject.com.
And now we are going to toss it over to Ashley Wallinger with a look at the weather for the week. Ashley?
The snow and below freezing temperatures have moved out of the area, and we're back to more seasonal conditions. An area of high pressure is forming over the region today, clearing out the clouds and bringing high temperatures to 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we saw yesterday. Tomorrow should be the warmest day so far this week, with highs into the 50s and a mix of sun and clouds. The weather should be staying fairly stable throughout the next week. On Thursday, the temperature will dip a bit into the mid-40s, but it warms back into the 50s as we head into the weekend. The lows are hovering around freezing for the next 7 days, so bundle up if you're headed out at night. It stays in the mid-50s with plenty of sunshine and light winds on Saturday and Sunday. The early part of your Thanksgiving break is looking really nice with highs in the 50s and lots of sun. Enjoy some time outside while the milder weather is still in our area. Back to you. Back to the desk.
Next up, a look at an event bridging veterans and artists together.
And a musician who's making some noise. We'll be right back.